So we are live, and here we go.
Oh, shit.
Welcome to the Saints Happy Hour podcast, featuring Dave Cariello, Andrew Juge, Ralph Malbrough, and when he decides to show up, Kevin Held. We are the perfect blend of Saint sincerity and stupidity.
How many RPMs would it take for the Julio copter to actually fly away, and how many fumbles would happen as a result?
Well, that's a trick question because you can only fumble once.
If you're not having fun when your team is 11-2 and win back-to-back division titles for the first time in 50 years, then you need to stop watching.
And now, here's your host, Ralph Malbrough.
Woo! All right, welcome to Saints Happy Hour podcast. As always, we are sponsored by our friends at SeatGeek. They have the best app to get you the tickets you need for events, concerts, sporting events. Their app tells you if it's good, it's a green light. If it's okay, it's a yellow light. If it's Kevin Held trying to sell you fucking tickets written on a napkin, it's a red light. Go there and use the code ACAA and get $20 off your first purchase on them. That's 2 free beers or a nacho helmet at the Astros game if you prefer. That's my thing. Use the code ACAA. Get $20 off your purchase. Life's an event. We have the tickets.
Do I need to start reading these?
You might need to, but first of all,
wait a minute. Is it an adult-sized helmet that the nachos are in? So like when you're done with it, you can wear the helmet?
yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Wow.
Are the chips like on the rim of the hat? Is that how
No,
that
they're in there. They're all in there.
works?
So I
Okay.
mean, like you have to go home and clean it first. You can't
Yeah.
wear it.
Well, I don't
Same.
because I'm a pig, but you can if
a
you
minute.
want.
But so you do it. So
Yeah,
so
I mean,
you will actually eat nachos out of this and then put it on your head.
I take it
Or
to
a
the back.
paper
I
blanket
take it to the
or
back.
something?
I take it to the bathroom and like wipe it down and like take a like a wet nap and wipe it down, you know. But by the fourth inning, I'm wearing that thing, right? I mean, I paid for it. Come on, Dave, live a little. So, because we are an important Saints podcast and JD Hot Sauce and other sponsors that have been wonderful to us, we had to have a meeting this week because we have a potential other sponsor. I got the email. I was really excited about it. I'm just going to read it. I really visit your blog repeatedly and read all your posts, which are quite interesting. One of our sites is all about sex and sex toys. We usually work a lot to inform our visitors. These types of details will be useful for those that search for the same info. We are both websites in the same niche arena. We recently that's true. We recently provide a free, complete infographics about the Master Sex Swing Guide. If you are interested in our sponsorship, please reach out to me. So, I mean, I'll leave it up to you guys.
Where would we put their infographic? We're gonna
know,
gonna
it's-
put that like on the YouTube channel or something.
I mean, we could. I'm sure they have the infographic built for us. So, like Kevin, we turned down the guy who wanted to do his Armageddon gun rights manifesto. He's the only ad we've ever turned down in the history of the podcast.
I kind of
Right,
wish we
but I
didn't
mean
turn
that
it
was, but that was political.
Yeah.
This is
down. This isn't hurting anybody. A sex swing never hurt anybody.
Well, there might be some stuff that hurts people.
right, but it's consensual.
I'm gonna put it on the I'm gonna put it in the poll in the chat room. Should we accept sex toy money? Choice 1, yes. Choice 2, yes. Choice 3, no. So, what do we think? I mean, it's one thing to say, well, I'd like to talk to my friends about it, to you about our friends at SeatGeek or whatever, but our friends at Ball Gags and Whips Emporium. Zach,
You
Zach,
think, here you go, guys. You think Coach Payton is guiding people hard in training camp? Wait till you ladies try this Sibian machine.
A what machine?
If
Wait,
you
no.
donate $5 a month, you can get a free nipple clamp with Saints Happy Hour podcast on it.
Wait, a what? What did Kevin say? A what machine?
I believe it's pronounced Sibian machine.
What is that?
Ouch.
What is that? What the hell is that?
Do you really want to know? I don't know what it is, and I'm not asking.
I'm googling it. How do you spell that? With a C
I
or an
believe-
S?
It's with an S. It's a S and a Y.
Okay, I got it.
I mean, I think as the kids like to say, Kevin just told on himself. I don't know. We make no judgments here.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm the one. I'm the single.
Kevin thought that was more common knowledge than it really was, and now he's been outed. Oh, the website says it's the ride of your life. Okay, I know. I see what it is now. I see what it is.
It's the ride of your life, and it ain't Six Flags. You know what I'm saying?
I've seen that before.
Hey, listen, we don't discriminate at the Saints Happy Hour podcast. We're inclusive.
No,
You know?
Andrew and Ralph remember random Saints players who only were in training camp in 1985, and Kevin knows about Sibian machines. So everybody's got their talent.
Yeah.
Everybody brings it. Everybody brings it to the podcast. I get how much this stuff costs.
Hey, Kevin Hauser is a person too.
Sibian is like a name brand too, so Kevin really knows his shit. Like Sibian is like
I did not know that. All I knew was just that's what some of those videos were called.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just say when I got the email and I tweeted it out on the Saints Happy Hour? Can I just say how happy I was and proud of what we've made this podcast, where people made jokes about it literally like half the day. People were just tweeting out their own little ad copy that they create. It was fantastic. It might have been my proudest moment of this show ever.
right,
So
these things go for $1,200.
12.
Well, yeah, you're paying for quality, Dave.
You're paying for the name because they're the name. They're the brand. If you're buying a machine that you're gonna rub your vagina on, this is the one you're gonna get.
Whoa, easy.
Whoa. Use the class.
That's where we cross the line.
Keep it classy, buddy.
They are the jet ski. They are the jet ski of masturbatory fun.
Happens every time one of those dancers start poontanging around.
That was oddly appropriate, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure why you had that lined up and in what situation you thought that was going to be useful, but
I don't know, Dave. I just liked it, and I've been waiting for a year to drop that in at the right moment, and there it was. All right.
Nailed it.
So,
mentioned anything about the Saints yet?
we got the bracket to do, but first, I'm not going to I was going to start off with something else, but I'm going to segue to something that's a little less downtrodden than what I was going to start with. The Saints, Dave, actually are about to cut a deal with the state of Louisiana to stretch the lease out to 2035 and do like $500 million renovation to the dome.
Yeah, and then some asshole on Twitter that writes for the Falcons starts insulting us, saying that our stadium's a dump.
Oh, I gave him a burn like never before. He didn't even. I fired at him. He didn't even respond to me.
Is that like a thing now? You have a new stadium in your city, like one of 7 cities that has a new stadium, and then you just get to trash everyone else.
Well,
like
here's
any city that doesn't have a brand new stadium is awful.
Here's the thing. It's Jeff Schultz from The Athletic, and here's the thing about him, and here's the thing about all media. The media thinks the Superdome is a fucking dump because all the media cares about is the food good in the press box, and does the team in that stadium treat me nice? And if the Saints had 5-star food in the press box, people could fucking die in the stands, and the media would say the Superdome was wonderful. Like, they don't like the Superdome because the elevator's slow, it's super cold in the press box, and the food is kind of mediocre. So they think the stadium is a dump. That's just the media. Kevin? Am I wrong?
I do not believe you are.
But I mean,
I mean,
that's
I've been to three NFL stadiums in my life. I've been to FedEx Field for the Redskins. I've been to Ericsson Field, whatever it is now, for the Panthers, and I've been to the Superdome. And the Superdome in its current state is way better than the other two. So small sample size. I haven't been to the fancy Cowboy Stadium or the fancy Falcon Stadium, but like, call it a dump if you want. But I've been to three NFL stadiums, and it's the best of the three. So. Again, like I just find it so annoying that
by any means. I think they're going to do something with the ramps, to getting up to like the 600 level. You guys as kids, when you went to games, you probably remember those ramps fondly, walking up and down those ramps. But
hey, Ralph, is the stream offline, by the way?
no, the stream it hiccuped for a minute, but according to me, it is fine.
Okay.
But I think they're going to be maybe getting rid of those ramps, and I mean it's outdated. Like if you built a stadium today, you're not going to build a stadium with ramps like that. I mean, I feel like inside the actual, once you're in the stadium and you're in your seat, I feel like the game day experience is fine. The new larger screens, definitely a big upgrade. Definitely, I think they're fine now. It's fine. And this is New Orleans. We don't like change. We fear change, and we have a reverence for old buildings and old things. So I feel like it'll be a cold day in hell before the citizens of New Orleans ever agree to tear down the Superdome and build something. We're too nostalgic of a people to do that.
Can I jump in real quick? I've been inside the Dallas Stadium. I was in the Dallas Stadium for WrestleMania. I don't even remember which one it was now. I think it was 32. And let me tell you, that experience, the experience of getting inside and getting to your seat, that was kind of a pain in the ass. Like I mean, that was for a lot of people. The experience of getting inside the building for that event was an absolute nightmare and a clusterfuck. And there was a lot of bitching and complaining about that. And the AT&T Stadium people, I don't know if Jerry was fully in charge of that, but they got shit on, and rightfully. I mean, look, it's a bit that thing that hangs from the ceiling. That's cool. That's great. You walk around, you can find somebody that'll sell you a beer or a pretzel pretty fucking quick. But getting in and out, fucking sucked. Getting in and out, like, really, really sucked. Like, and that building is located, like, in the middle of nowhere in Dallas. I know that sounds weird to say it's located in the middle of nowhere in Dallas, but you could probably put Walt fucking Disney World in the parking lot. It's that big. It's a fucking concrete paved nightmare. I mean, with the Superdome.
Yeah, you can get in and out.
Right, you can get in and out, but at the same time, it's like, okay, suppose you just want to walk to the stadium. Fine, you walk to the stadium, you walk out. There's stuff you can walk to fairly quickly. If that's your cup of tea, you go right to it.
Yeah, I mean, again, I just don't think you can call it a dump if you want, but I don't think that's really taking into appreciation the fan experience. And overall, I think it rates pretty high marks compared to other stadiums from what I've read and what I've seen.
That's just people. I mean, the guy that did that was a Falcons fan. That's a guy trying to score points. He's scoring points like Steph Curry's dunking. It ain't fucking happening, man. Like great. You're great. You guys tore down a perfectly serviceable fucking building to build a new building that was basically a borderline fucking boondoggle, and it looks like Megatron's asshole.
You got to give them credit though. There's a lot of people, a lot of humans in that stadium dressed like seats.
Oh yeah, fair enough. I mean, that's a hell of a feature for a building, is to disguise. You know, sometimes I guess the fans get embarrassed, so they want to disguise themselves as empty seats. Pretty good.
Having Chick-fil-A in there when Chick-fil-A is not open on Sundays was a nice touch also.
I mean, that's the sort of architectural planning, conception, and design that truly makes them the envy of the league.
What about the roof that's a clogged toilet?
Yeah. I don't know if they still. Yeah. Do they still have that problem?
And the pipe noise because their fans don't cheer. But it's the Superdome that's the dump.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I tell you, guys, go invest more money in another fucking in another fucking building, like outside of the city, because you don't want to put anything in the city. Okay, you tear down Fulton County Stadium, and then you build the new baseball stadium way the fuck out of town, because Lord forbid you put something in the city. And then, I mean, let me tell you, at some point, and this might have happened last year, I don't know, but the soccer fucking team draws pretty goddamn well, and those folks are plenty fucking lively.
They are. Atlanta loves their soccer team for some reason. I don't quite understand that.
Atlanta's a soccer town. They ain't a football town.
They've lost two hockey teams, by the way, because they were banging on New Orleans today. But here's a question, Dave, that I think is interesting about the stadium deal that the Saints have made. Would this deal be possible if Gayle Benson didn't own the Saints? And what I mean by that is, I don't know that if somebody would have bought the Saints for like $2 billion, that they would have been as amenable as she is to doing renovations on the dome and extending out the life of the deal, because she's so tied to the community.
I mean, I think that's a fair point. I think if somebody else came in and bought the team, first of all, I think they would demand a new stadium. It would probably even be a part of, whatever deal they had to even acquire the team in the first place, that they would demand a new stadium. Probably have to have the taxpayers or Visitors Bureau, hotel tax or whatever, pay for it. Because, the new owner who has billions of dollars, he can't or she couldn't afford to pay for it or even chip in a little bit. So I mean, I think I think both sides are happy with just keeping the stadium, and I absolutely think you're right. If it was somebody from the outside, it's totally different. There's definitely a relationship between the Bensons and that whole organization and the state.
The renovation. The one thing I don't like about the renovations, Kevin, is why are they renovating the visitor locker room? Like, shouldn't they make that as awful as possible? Like, why you got?
Right. I think that. I think they're tearing up the carpet. I think they're tearing up the carpet and just leaving the cement floor. And I don't know, maybe they'll paint the walls puce or something to really wear down morale.
What they ought to do is wallpaper it in the same wallpaper as the Greenbrier.
The Greenbrier. Nice.
Make it happen, Sean. Make it happen.
Your cat liked that joke, Ralph.
Yeah, and the cat did. My wife is about this close to opening the door and telling that cat to get the fuck out and not come home. That cat is on a peeing rampage. It is not good in the Marlboro house, just let me say. So before we get to the worst Sean Payton moves tournament bracket and we continue that, John Georges bought the Times Picayune and fucking nuked it literally fired Kevin. Am I right? He fired everybody. Like, there's no one left. Like, they're like, 2 months, clean your shit out. Is there anybody left at the Times Picayune in 60 days?
Dude, I didn't see the look. I didn't see the specifics of it, but anything I saw on Twitter, I didn't see anything about anybody saying I was lucky enough to remain. I didn't see any of that. It was hey, I'm done today, or my friend is done today, or I know this person, they could use a job, or it was people like hawking their own skills.
Yeah,
saying, "Hey, I'm getting fired, or I've been fired, but here's what I can do. Hire me." I didn't see anybody saying that they kept their job.
Yeah, I think it was 165 fired and like 65 editorial, which, I mean, I don't know how big the Times Picayune is. I know they've cut and cut and cut. I mean, that's a ton of people in the newsroom. But me and Andrew sort of talked about today, Dave, I think the Saints coverage that we get as fans is going to be appreciably worse now. What do you think of that hot take that I just threw out there?
Whew, that was hot. That was smoldering. So that was Boot Jolika spicy.
High flavors.
Yeah. I mean, I guess my answer to that would be with another question, and that question is why would it really get any better? I mean, seriously, what would be the motivation? What would be the motivation for either side really to get any better? Obviously the biggest thing is that you have one guy, one person, who owns both newspapers in the city, or even the city. And I don't know. It's tough because now there's no competition, and so we don't know what the motivation is.
Yeah.
So where's
Kevin?
the motivation, Bob?
We need more office space. I'm not going to play the worst day of your life because that's just mean. More like this.
Piece of shit. He represents all that is soulless and wrong.
Can I say that about John Georges? Are we risking getting some of that sweet advocate money?
I mean, I don't. I mean, whatever he's doing. I don't know. He's doing what he thinks he should be doing. I mean, he's just expanding his empire. I don't blame him for that.
Yeah,
No.
I mean, buying out your competitors.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a thing.
Yeah, the thing is, I just worry.
Monopolies every chance companies can get.
I just worry that you're always going to have a bunch of young reporters covering the Saints, and it's fine now. Like when they're rolling and winning 11 and 13, and this year maybe they'll win 11 to 13, 14 games again. So like you don't need necessarily great reporting when they're good, because they're good. No one cares about like locker room insider jargon or what's going wrong or whatever. It's when they suck that you need experienced reporters that know how to ask the questions, that have connections within the organization to get answers, that know how to ask the right questions, that aren't afraid to ask the tough questions. That's when you need like good reporting. And I just worry that in 3, 4, 5 years or whatever, when the Saints hit a lull or a bad spot, you're gonna need.
No, that's never gonna happen. They're gonna be in the playoffs for the next 50 years in a row. It'll be fine.
I like your positive attitude, Juge, but I know that depressing Drew Breesless hell may be right around the corner. All right.
So like, is Jeff Duncan gonna stay, or what's going on?
He's
No,
toast, I think.
dude, everybody is gone. Gonzo.
So who's?
I mean, they can, but they did say they could apply for new jobs, right?
Yeah, I think they can interview for their job.
You can re-interview for the job they just shit can you for. What is it you say? What is it you say you do here, Bob? So let's get to the bracket, which is just amazing. We still have the back half of the bracket to do, so let's get to it. The number 2 seed, Jarris Bird, versus the number 15 seed, Olin Kreutz. Kevin, who you got?
I'm going to say Jarris Bird.
Yeah, this is too easy.
Jarris Bird, Kevin. Andrew.
So Bird agreed to a 6-year, $56 million contract that included $28 million guaranteed. He played the first 4 games of the 2014 season before suffering a torn lateral meniscus knee ligament tear during practice. And the following day, the team announced that he was placed on injured reserve. He was then released on March 10th of 2017 after producing a whopping 3 interceptions in 3 years, 2 of which came in one meaningless game against the Bucks. Olin Kreutz almost punched Drew Brees. I really hate him because he quit on the team as a captain. So, it's funny. If you ask me which guy I dislike more, I would actually say Kreutz. But Bird
could hang dirty clothes on that $800 bike. Bird was completely useless, except for that one time when he collided with Keenan Lewis so the Titans could score a touchdown. It's got to be Bird. And the thing is, I think, guys, am I wrong about this? That's the only time in this podcast history that breaking news has actually happened while we were recording the show. And
it was my wife. It was my wife that told me while we were doing the show.
My wife.
And it turned out to be a disaster. So it's a clean sweep with
Man, we were excited that night though. Man, were we excited.
We were. Let's see the net.
We were also really stupid.
This is a good one, Dave. Number 7, Stephon Anthony versus number 10, Delvin Bro's leg. Who you got?
I don't know. Stephon Anthony, I think, was way worse. He was. Did they trade up for him?
They did not, but he
was one of 2 first-round picks. Right?
He was the Jimmy Graham first-round pick. Yeah. They got Unger and the first-round pick for Jimmy Graham.
Yeah. Just what a disappointment, if the Saints had used that pick and gotten somebody really great with that pick, it would have made the Jimmy Graham trade even that much better. I still think it was a good trade. But
Anthony should be our middle linebacker right now. We have an awesome young linebacker on this team, and it should be Anthony.
Well, Anthony kind
of had a weird rookie year where, for the first part of it, if he had a bunch of tackles, so it kind of looked kind of okay on the surface, right, Andrew? If I remember that right.
Yeah. No, his rookie season, I think we all felt it wasn't the best. He made some mistakes, but he's learning on the job, and he's a talented player.
Wasn't he the first person ever to score? Wasn't he the first defensive player ever to score on a 2-point attempt?
Yes. No, it was on a blocked extra point that he ran back, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was. But that was the first time you could do it. So he was the first player to ever score 2 points on a return.
It's bad.
Well, that was worth the pick. That was worth the first-round pick.
But I feel like Kevin. I feel like Delvin Bro's leg is a very solid pick to win the whole thing. Delvin Bro's leg. It's just it is shorthand for everything that's wrong with the Saints medical staff. I remember the Saints were so fed up they were leaking to Florio that they were going to trade him because they were so mad that he wasn't practicing. But in fact,
so he had come back from a broken leg, and basically the Saints diagnosed him as having a leg contusion, which is basically a bruise. And 2 separate orthopedic doctors, he took the X-ray, he took the MRI, and 2 separate doctors, orthopedic doctors, are like, no, you're fine. It's just a contusion. So basically, all right, well, sit out for a couple days, see how it feels, and then go back out there. So he goes back out there, and he's like, Coach, my leg is still killing me. I can't walk. And I'm sure at this point, Sean Payton's being like, dude, the doctors, you have a bruise. What's wrong with you? Go out there, play. It's nothing. rub some dirt on it. You're fine. And so he goes out there, like every 3 days, he would go back to practice and he'd be like, I can't do it. There's something wrong with my leg. So then he goes and gets a second opinion outside of the Saints orthopedic staff. And the guy looks at his x-ray and he's like, dude, your leg is broken. So, the Saints finally get a third opinion, and it confirms that he does, in fact, have a fractured fibula. And so the Saints end up firing the 2 doctors over the misdiagnosis, and he gets placed on injured reserve like 6 weeks after his initial injury where he broke his leg.
I couldn't find it because my old laptop is just a disaster. But Dave, I think that was your initial rant of fuck the Saints doctors, they don't know what they're doing. And I remember you ranting about something about leeches and goat blood or something like. And I saved it, but I couldn't find it on my old computer. I was trying over the weekend. But you've been beating this drum for years and years.
That's a shame. I was about to say, I think I've been saying it for even
longer than that.
Yeah, before that. Yeah, I mean, I have been beating the drum. So, but at the same time, is this? I don't know whether it's a Payton screw up or whether that's a doctor screw up or a Benson screw up because of Ochsner or whatever. I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. Really who's to blame with this.
Well, I guess if nothing else, he definitely went over the top being a dick to Bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Delvin, bro.
So wait, who did Kevin pick?
Delvin, bro.
Delvin, bro.
Yeah, this is tough for me. I mean, I think it's one of those things where you look at the next linebacker that was picked, and it was McKinney, who ended up being pretty good for the Texans. And then the next linebacker picked was by the Saints again. It was Kikaha. And then the next linebacker picked was Eric Kendricks. For the Saints guys. And the other 2, they were pretty good players, were the 2 guys. And let's see, Kendricks was on the all-rookie team. So, yeah.
Is Anthony still in the league? Is he still sucking up a roster spot for the Fish?
Let me check. I don't think his rookie contract. No, he's a free agent. Wow, he does not have a job.
All right, who's left to vote? He does not have a job. Are we gonna have a 2-2 tie? Or is it 2-2? I lost count. So it's 2-2. So Andrew, throw it out to the people in the chat. In the chat on the live stream.
Ralph, you're starting to be like in a watering hole again.
Wait, who did Andrew vote for?
Stephon Anthony.
Oh, then it's 3-1.
No, it's 3-1.
No.
So, am I in a watering hole?
Not hear us.
No, Ralph, your audio sucks. Number one, right. And secondly, Stephon Anthony won.
All right, I will. Can you hear? You guys can't hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it bad?
He's on a delay.
I'm on a delay. Are you? All right. Very poor connection. I didn't do the dial-up music, Andrew. I apologize. It's the one sound effect that I forgot.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah. I think that might be it.
How about now? Am I back? Am I back good? No. All right. I will.
Ralph, you sound like you just had a stroke.
All right. Everybody, I apologize. Give me 2 minutes. I'm going to reboot the thing.
Right.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Son of a bitch. So we are back and live streaming.
Oh no.
Oh, are you serious? Fuck. Are you
No,
kidding
no.
me? It went out again.
You're back to stroking out.
Oh, God damn it. All right, I'll reboot the whole thing. God damn it.
It
Yeah,
really sounds like you're operating at like quarter speed.
Son of a